This recording is to cover the second category of how some existing customers use Accelerator. Automate your Sage data entry. Automating data entry is all around the repeat tasks. If you have a task that you repeat every month or every week or every day, we can get Excel to learn the steps either by macros or formulas or by simply saving data on the spreadsheet and recalling it, which will save you time and speed up your data entry. I'm going to start off with the first example, which is purchase invoices. The first thing you notice is that the suppliers are already on the spreadsheet. We know the suppliers who normally send invoices to us each month. Therefore, we can have them on the spreadsheet, which saves time having to key in the supplier's account number and search for the supplier. All we have to do is to key in the invoice number, the invoice date, key in the amount, and the VAT amount. We come down to the next invoice. We key in the invoice number. Again, we key in the date. We put in the amount, and we put in the VAT amount. And what's happening is that the Excel is calculating or counting the number of invoices that were entered. It's counting the total of the invoice, the goods amount, and the total of the VAT amount. And over here, we're automating some of the data entry. We're automating the second reference. It's got the year, the month, and a sequential number. It's got the due date, and it's got the narrative. If we don't have an invoice from a particular supplier, we simply skip that supplier, and we come down and type in the next invoice. Where an invoice might be split over two nominal codes, we can set up the spreadsheet to be prepared to capture that. It can act as a reminder and also can speed up the data entry. We can have the same supplier on the spreadsheet twice. And when we're ready to post off the data, we simply go to Purchase Ledger Invoices, click Save to Sage, and the information is transferred into Sage 200. An example of automating your data entry is based around having information from a report of some kind that we want to quickly generate a transaction. In this example, we've got a report that pulls the purchase orders where the goods have been received but are not yet invoiced, and we'd like to generate a nominal journal for various transactions, for selected transactions. So we simply open up the Excel sheet with the purchase order data. We run down along the Excel sheet and we decide which transactions or which purchase orders we'd like to accrue. Any line we can skip, any line we'd like to exclude. And what's happening is that we have formulas in the nominal journal template, and the formulas are based on whether there's a tick in the include row, and where there's a tick we copy in the nominal code, we copy in the narrative, we copy in the goods amount. The journal is a reversing journal, so it's set to type reversing, and the reversing date is in here. So when I'm ready to post my journal, I simply go to my Accelerator nominal journals and click Save to Sage. And it pushes the journal off into Sage 200 for me. The next example I have is to do with sales orders. And what we're looking at here is where we would pre-fill this template or the sales order with the products the customer normally buys. So this saves us a lot of time searching for the products and keying in product codes. Also means it's more accurate and that we know we have the right product. We can have a different tab for different customers. And once we're happy that we filled in the lines, we simply go to Accelerator, go to Sales Orders, and click Save to Sage. A variation of this is where we might have a different data entry screen. And the example I have here is where we have the products in columns and we have a template in another tab with formulas pulling whatever is keyed into the first tab onto the sales order template. So as I key in my quantities, they automatically appear in my sales order to generate my sales order. The next example I'm going to show relates to new customers. So I just tidy up a little, and one way of speeding up data entry is you get somebody else to key it in for you. And here we have an example where we have a new customer and we have a template that we can email out to the customer, and they'd fill out the name and the address and the postcode and the VAT registration number, the telephone number, the contact details. And when they're finished, they'd email the data back to us. We would unprotect the spreadsheet. And at this stage, we would open up an area for the salespeople, or the sales and marketing department, and we'd pass the spreadsheet on to them. And they would fill out the information that relates to their department. When it returns, we pass it on to the credit control department, and we finish up with the accounts department. We'll fill out the information and post off to Sage. The next example I have is intercompany, where we have two Sage 200 companies, and we want to be able to generate a transaction in one company that automatically generates transaction in another company. In this example, we got the purchase orders generating sales order in a different company. So I can browse the companies, and we know who the intercompany supplier and intercompany customer, and they're already filled in. So I come down to where I enter my product codes, and I can select a range of product codes. Drop them onto the spreadsheet, and then I can key in a quantity against each line. That automatically generates a sales order for me, because I have formulas and the sales order template that just pulls the information off the purchase order into my sales order, ready for posting off to the separate company. The advantage is that I'm less keying, and I can see the two transactions on the screen at the same time. The next example, and actually the last example I have in the automating your data entry, is where we're generating multiple sales orders. And in this instance, we have a customer who buys a 12-month license, but they're billed monthly. So we want to generate 12 orders and 12 invoices. So we fill up the first line, and then we copy the information onto the second line. We change the date of the order to March, or the next month. We then highlight and we drag. So if we want to generate 12 orders, we drag down as far as the 12th row. If we want to generate 15, we drag down to the 15th row. And what you can notice here is that the customer order number changes February, March, April for each month, as does the job description or the item description. So when I'm ready to post off my 15 orders, I go to Sage Accelerator, and I go to the sales order module, and I click Save to Sage, and I post the modules off, post the orders off into Sage 200. Okay, repeat tasks are monotonous, they're time consuming, and they're open to human error. Using proven Excel features, we can automate the data entry, save time, improve morale, and increase accuracy.